I feel like everyone tried the willpower method at least once in their life. When you try to stop fapping. So they try going on the days. I personally tried, so I will tell my experience. I first tried the willpower method and trying to go to day 90 and don't fap until then, to see all the great benefits that the people on the internet made a promise with me. So they said like, oh, after day 90 you will have this and this and this. And I tried, never went to day 90 with the willpower method. So even after trying your hardest, you did maybe 15 days without fapping, which is really great for a start. Like, imagine yourself, you were fapping every day and now you're doing 15 days without fapping. That's incredible progress. But you relapse, and the term relapsing is really not good, but I will say like you slip up. So you slip up and you fap again. From the NoFap perspective, you're now done to zero. Everything that you have done it all goes to nothing, and all your progress is now none. So that's really not the good way to do it. But what's the good way to do it? I will talk more in depth about the usual way to go. But first of all, if you don't know me, my name is Wesley, and my mission is to help everyone, especially young guys, to finally quit their addiction. These are my type of videos, and if you think that's awesome, subscribe so we can grow together. Also, I want to reach out to anyone who feels like their addiction is stopping them from becoming the person they know they can be. I've put together a coaching package that's all about helping you break free and step into a better and more successful life. If you're someone ready to make that change, this is for you. And let me be real with you, the prices for this program are going to increase soon, and this is the best deal you're going to get. So click the first link in the description for a free call with me, a one-on-one call, and let's talk about how we can turn your struggle into your greatest comeback. So what is the usual way to go? Usually, and that's how I first started, and I talked with a lot of person because I know a lot of person. I go to the gym, I'm going outside like a lot, and I fist bump everyone, and I like to talk with people. So I asked them this, and maybe that in your way of thinking it's not something you can really talk about, but I'm kind of close with all of these person, so we can talk about this. And because I'm no longer in this journey of quitting, and because I'm a coach, I have a lot of experiences in this particular domain. So the usual way to go is that you think about porn and fapping, and you list all the negative thing you can think about. So all the disadvantages of doing it and all the bad things that can happen. And after doing this, you read it and you go and think to yourself, if only I can go long enough without porn, eventually the desire will go and I can enjoy life again, free of slavery. And that's where everything goes wrong. Because if you tried, and I'm sure you once thought about this, well, after maybe 20 days, you will feel great for the 20 days because you're like in this process of quitting. So you will feel like proud of yourself. But after 20 days, the urge will come back. And you know, like me, when the urge is there, you have to go fap. It's like a live or death situation. Like your brain is really good at this, at making you think that if you don't go and fap right now, like you will die. And he will find all the good arguments to make you go want to fap. He will convince you to go and fap again. And that's the real problem with the willpower method, because after you got convinced by yourself to go and fap, now you're feeling depressed and miserable because you tried your hardest to quit, and you see that now all your effort you put into this it wasn't enough to get you free. So you think to yourself that you're not good enough, because that's literally like the thing that you use to quit. So the information that is sent to your brain is that you tried your hardest and it wasn't enough. And what's that feeling like? It's a bad feeling, because in your life you like to think that when you try your hardest, it's by trying your hardest that you will succeed in life, and it's by trying your hardest that you will accomplish good things. But what happens when you try your hardest to quit an addiction, and your hardest you feel like it's not enough because you relapsed or you slip up, sorry. Well, the feeling that you get from this is really a bad feeling, and some people like get depressed from this too. So the willpower method isn't the good method. But enough of me saying that willpower isn't good. What's the good method? The good method is your mind. First of all, you have to understand that all of the addiction aspect and everything is just a mental game, and it's not a logical game. If it was a logical game, logical solution will be enough to quit it. I learned this in a business book made by Alex Armozia. It's the 100 million offer. I'm not sponsored. But yeah, inside of it, he talks about logical problem vs psychological problem. And that really like made me realize this, is that it applies also to quitting an addiction. An addiction is not a logical game, it's a psychological game. So what happens? Quitting an addiction is all about a game of decision. You have to make decision. And on that, you will kind of relate to me. When you're going on NoFap for like 20 or 30 days, there's always like a time where you have this game of decision, and the idea creep in your brain and tells you like, oh, you could go and fap now. I need to fap. And you're giving him, I talk to your brain, you're giving him arguments that no, you can't fap because like 20 days before you made research and you found out that yes, it's really good if I quit now, so I won't fap ever again in my life. But 20 days in, you're having difficulties to quit because now your brain keeps on giving you arguments that you have to go and fap. That's because your brain isn't changed. Your mindset shift didn't happen. And that is where your decision comes in. You make the decision to go and fap. It's not like you're sleeping and while sleeping you're going in the bathroom and you're fapping. It's that at a time, I don't know when, but once in your journey to quit, you make the decision, the whole conscious decision to say, fuck it, I'm gonna go and fap. Because your hands won't go without your consent in your pants and fap. Like, this thing don't happen. And even though I was thinking like this before, like I was using the willpower method and I was trying to quit, and even though I tried my hardest, I was still fapping. Once I thought about it, now that I'm free, I thought about all my journey and I find it so like fucked up that I wasn't able to control myself. Like, what is this? I was making the whole decision by myself to say, hey, fuck all my progress, I will go and fap. And like, I'm laughing right now, but I'm only laughing at myself because I remember these days that I was having. I'm not laughing at you because I know that it's a hard process, but once you're going to get free from this, you're going to also laugh at all your journey and everything that happened. Because when you're finally free, you feel like, oh, it was this easy all this time. But while you're on this journey, you feel like it's really, really hard. And I know this because I'm now free. And now that I look at all the effort that I made to finally get where I'm at right now, I feel like if I had been given this method of the mindset shift that I'm actually teaching you, it would have been, first of all, so faster, so much faster than what it took me, and so much easier than what it took. So it's really the mindset that you have to change. And how do you change it? You have to realize that right now you're seeing value inside of the fact that you're fapping. So when you go and fap, your brain thinks that there is a value associated to the fact that you're fapping. So for example, the value right now could be that you think that fapping to porn is a solution to one of your problems. That's one way of thinking, and that's something that a lot of persons have. It's that, for example, right now you're bored and you feel like the answer to your boredness is to go and fap, because when you're fapping you have a lot of dopamine and that makes you like productive. So you're not bored anymore because you're doing something. But that's not a solution. That's just an example, by the way. I won't list all the possibilities because that will be a really long video. But if you want to learn more about this, I always have the link down below. But yeah, for example, the bird example. After you finish doing it, your boredness isn't resolved. Yeah, you just did something. Maybe it took you like 30 minutes. If you're really like addicted for long, maybe it took you like an hour. Things like that. But the time that you took to do this, you were productive. You were doing something. But now that you finished, you won't go and fap again. You're dead now. You have this big crash, this big down. So what are you going to do? What is now the solution to your boredness? You don't have. So finally, your boredness isn't resolved. You don't have something to do to occupy yourself. You just like went and released all your semen. Basically, you have no more energy left and you have nothing to do, so you're still bored and you just go and did something that is wrong for you. There's a lot of solution thing that people think that fapping is the solution, but it's never the solution. It's actually the problem. And the fact that you're thinking of fapping as a solution makes it in an even bigger problem, because now when the problem arrives, you think, oh, the solution is fapping, and you go and fap. Now your brain is all fucked up because it received like a lot of dopamine and thinks that he accomplished the biggest task he has in life, which is to reproduce. And now that's why you're feeling like so down and so like you have to crash, and basically a lot of people go to sleep right after, when you could have been super productive, maybe build a big thing, but now you can't because you're just fat. And to come back to the value that I was saying before, if you think that doing something will be beneficial to you, why would you stop doing it? That's what your brain is actually telling himself. So because he finds value, because you find value in fapping inside of your brain thinks there's value inside of this. It's a good thing to do. So because it's a good thing to do, why would I stop doing a good thing? And even though you're reading about all the negative aspect of fapping, because your brain made the association that fapping resolve one of your problem, so in conclusion it's a good thing to do, you will continue to do it. And that's why you can't quit, because your brain thinks that it's a good thing. Even though you're trying to tell him that it's a bad thing, you still think that it's a solution to one of your problems. And what is also preventing you from quitting is the fear. You're fearing that the other people that are still doing it are having more pleasure than you. You're fearing that you will miss the whole the Saint Graal of videos, like the best video of it all, and that people that still are on this addiction are like having more happiness and are feeling more joy than you. They're enjoying their life more than you because you're trying to quit and they're not. And that fear is what is really preventing you from quitting. So as I said, it's all a mental game. It's all in your brain. Once your mindset shifts, you will see that, first of all, you will perceive life as different. And your addiction, you will finally break free. And to make that mindset shift, it's really hard if you're doing it by yourself because you have to make a lot of research. But I successfully did it. So it's possible. And if I can give you a good tips, first of all, you have to make this clear in your mind. That's the big step that will really help you if you try to do this alone. It's that porn doesn't fill a void. There isn't a void inside of you and porn is filling it. Porn is creating that void. So because you're using porn, it creates that void that now you feel like only porn can fill. But that's not how it works. If you weren't watching porn, the void weren't being created. Oh shit. I don't know how to say this. But you get what I mean. Porn doesn't fill the void, it creates it. So, and you can tell this because there's people that never watch porn in their life and they don't have that void. So they don't have to fill it. When you compare yourself, I know it's not good to compare yourself with others and things, but just bear with me for this example. If you compare yourself to someone who never masturbated and never watched porn, they don't have that void inside of their self. So that void that you have, that you feel like porn is the solution to, it's because of porn if there is that void. So if you stop porn, the void will disappear. And that's what will really help you in this journey. And when you think about all of what I said, breaking free is a mindset shift you have to make. And you're that mindset shift away from freedom. And the way you think is the way you perceive the world. And that becomes your reality. So when you shift your mindset, your desires change and you no longer want to go and fap. So you're going to quit fapping because you now think as fapping as a bad thing to do. And that's what will really help you in this journey. I hope that this video will help you as it will have had helping me when I was younger. And on that, take care of yourself.
Mwah.